So I know the Panthers haven't played their starters in their first two preseason games, but I actually like this time of year, man. It's gives it a good chance to evaluate some guys. Some of these guys that are fringe roster guys or just developmental guys, we won't really get to see them in live game action until this time next year. Some guys we will get to see because they're depth pieces. So in this video today, we're going to do a film breakdown of the last Panthers preseason game. I'm going to point out just a few guys that really caught my eye and some plays that they caught my eye and what they did and what I expect from them. Because for this new coaching staff, there's plenty of evaluation to be done. So I want to kind of look in as well. Yes, we have a preseason film breakdown, the first time ever in UB Sports Talk history. I'm super excited about this. But if you're new to the channel, my name is Aaron Duncan. Make sure you are subscribed down below. I do videos just like this on the regular with film breakdowns, news, and updates. I have live streams as well. So as we get ready to crank up for this Panther season, make sure you are subscribed with bell notifications on. That way you don't miss anything and get notified. But also help me out in the algorithm by giving this video a thumbs up. It goes a very, very long way in my quest to help grow this channel. And it doesn't cost anything. It's free. Likes are free. So I really appreciate that. But let's go ahead and get into some of this tape. The one guy that really stuck out and is great, really couldn't be ignored, is Jack Anderson. Jack Anderson is a guy that's only been a Panther for like 3 or 4 days before this game. So to be able to cram into the playbook, learn everything, be able to work with the guys left and right of you, it's not an easy task. And I can't oversell what this guy did to be able to put on such a high graded performance, the highest graded guy according to PFF in that game for preseason. So I'm really, really happy with Jack's performance. So I wanted to spotlight him. Let's go ahead and take a look. I thought Jack Anderson was a very, very good surprise. This is a guy that we picked up on waivers just like a few days before the game from the Commanders. He's going to be at left guard, and like I said, to be able to work with some of the linemen that was already had that's been in camp, but you've only been here for a few days, you got to take your hats off. He was the highest graded guy according to PFF in terms of our offense, and I think the whole team. But we're going to watch him work right here. A nice little a double team. He needs a little bit of help from here, but I like the work of engaging, staying engaged, keeping your hands on, but watch him get them hips flipped. You see the running back hesitates a little bit, but it allows Jack Anderson to get those hips flipped. Right now his hips are different, but he flips them there. You saw that little move here from going from here to here, gets those hips flipped, and now you got a nice little crease for the running back to get through. Good work by Jack Anderson, like I said, getting them hips flipped at the very last second. Here's the next play. He's going to have a combo block. He's working with the center on. Boom. Takes him over, but look at that drive. Getting them 2 yards off the ball, getting a little bit of movement. I like that. Getting yourself into position. Like I said, getting that guy hooked. It's a tough block because you have to come over to the left, and you're going to get a little bit of help from your center, but you got to try to get yourself into position. Does a pretty good job of getting those hips kind of flipped and driving them a little bit. The guy ends up making a play in the hole, but this is good work by him to get into position. This is not a bad job here. I'll take this type of drive block, getting a little bit of displacement. We get 5 yards when you move guys off the spot for the running back. So I love the drive downfield. I love getting him in position. Like I said, the guy makes the play, but it's 5 yards downfield. We'll take 5 yards on a run, a hard-nosed run at that. So here's the next play from Jack Anderson, more in the running game as well. He's going to have a combo block here, but watch the drive here. This guy's lined up on what, the 30-yard line or whatever. Watch where he gets him pushed back. He has a double team, but look how he keeps driving him. He displaces him completely from where he was at. This guy was lined up. Look where this guy was lined up initially. About a yard inside of the hash, right on the line. At the end of the play, where does he end up? Where does he end up? 4 yards back on the hash. But look, not just that, the double team work, keeping the feet moving. Look at him get hooked. Look, he gets those hips flipped. Boom. Look at the hips. His hips are square now, but boom, he flips them there. And the running back is able to cut back to his side because now he's driving this guy inside and clears him out of the hole, just completely displacing guys from where they are. We'll live with this. It almost looks like a hold the way he's driving them, but you keep your feet moving and you engage like that. The refs aren't going to call that. The refs aren't going to call that when you're moving your feet and getting him out the way. If you hold him and restrict him from moving, yeah, it's different. But if you're actually physically moving him yourself, the refs are going to have a hard time calling that. And the fact that he was able to wall him off there is great hip moving. I like from Jack Anderson there. Here's going to be a different play. Here's going to be some pass pro. But I like the awareness here, working with the guy on a double team, but keeping his eyes up. He keeps his eyes up, see this blitz coming from the left, the cornerback, and boom, finishes him off at the last second. This is what you call finding work. Finding work, keeping your eyes up. Don't let that original rush distract you. Keep your eyes up for the blitz. Sees that corner coming and makes the corner pay the price. He knocks the corner into the other, into his teammate. and cleans them up. But I love that type of impact and punishing guys, especially smaller guys, when you see them blitzing. Having the awareness, look, keeping them eyes up. Know that you have a guy that you're working with, but keeping the eyes up, seeing that blitz on a free runner potentially and knocking his block off. All right, next play is a running play. This is going to be great agility by him. I want you to see how fast he comes out of his stance compared to the other guy, gets him hooked and walls him off. That's a win. But watch his hand on the ground. I'm going to inch it forward just a little bit. Inch it forward, inch it forward, inch it forward. Look, his hand is up, and that D lineman is still in the stance. So you're already out of your stance first, beating him. That gives you an advantage to get into position because it's a tough block. Look, he's inside of you, and you're trying to get inside. So he does it, gets inside. Look where he attacks half the man, flips the hips. Look, I keep talking about him flipping the hips, but that's what you do. You wall him off. If he stays squared up right here, this lineman could still try to make a play on the running back. But he's able to move his feet laterally and boom, flip the hips, cuts him off. Makes him try to go the long way to get to the running back. He's never going to catch that running back from behind. He's running too hard. And yes, somebody makes the play, but he did his job. Flips the hips, cuts him off, and drives him. Look, you don't have to just displace guys every time. It's pancake. Just get him out the way. Use your angles. Use leverage to win that way. Great job by Jack Anderson there. And JT Sanders isn't a fringe roster guy, but this is a guy that showed a lot of potential. I wanted to give the full perspective on him because he's actually a draft pick. And we talked about it in my pre-draft breakdown, looking at his film, what he brings to the table in terms of yak, but also what he has to work on. So I wanted to put in some spotlight on him. If you think I'm overcritical, it's just because I really, really like JT Sanders, and I want to show you guys a full perspective of what he has to work on. So let's go ahead and check it out. All right, so let's take a look at Jatavian Sanders, man. His first catch as a Panther. Finally got involved with some decent weather in the reception. Leaks out the backfield, man. Drops the hammer on the corner, man. This is the type of stuff, when I envision rookie JT Sanders, this is what I want to see. I want to see give him some easy things. Don't make him run a real complicated route tree. Yards after catch is his game. Get him on something like this. A delay on the block, play action, and just let him leak out. Gets ignored by the defense, slips out the back door, boom, drops the hammer. You want to feel them pass pop. Your first reception in the NFL, man, you want to get them pass pop and drop that hammer. Don't try to just juke him out of his sleeves. That's a little cornerback. Drop the hammer on him. So I like that. And look when he catches the ball, has a blocker in front of him, is able to square up pretty easily, drops his shoulder. I like it, man. I like this type of plays to get him involved. It doesn't have to be complicated. And here's another example of it as well. This time, instead of play action, he's going to be here as that chip guy. So if Icky or Moten needs some help in pass pro, man, this is what he can do. He's going to give a little chip, even though it's not his forte. He gets in the way, slows the rusher up. He gets out into the formation late. The quarterback is scrambling. Finds JT Sanders here. Now get upfield, make something happen. Not a huge gain here, but we'll take on third down, make it an easier field goal for our kicker, Eddie Pinero. Get a little check down to 5, 6, 7 yard gain right here. We'll take it. You know, just be that outlet whenever we need them. We'll check it from another angle here. And like I said, this is easy stuff that you can do. You doesn't have to run a complicated route tree. You can get on the field doing this. Just get in the way on that block. Quarterback's in trouble. Be there for him, be dependable hands, be that outlet for him. This is the type of stuff that JT Sanders can do. They can get on the field right away. We know blocking and all that isn't his forte, but in passing scenarios like this is what he can do. Just chip and get out into the flats. I want to see him be a little bit more explosive after the catch because I know he's got it in his game. We saw it in college, but this is a great start to get him a feel for it and get involved. Now let's go to what's not his forte. You guys know I got to give him his full perspective. I thought his effort blocking was phenomenal, but he needs a little bit of fine tuning when it comes to the angles and just bringing a little bit more with him in terms of just being strong. So this time it's going to be a little quick play. We're going to do a little end around here to Mingo, and JT Sanders is going to be the lead guy. Mingo gets strung out and he gets tackled. So let's real quick. I'm going to play it one more time. Just see what JT Sanders does. Boom, he gets pushed back. When initial contact is here at the 25. Look where he gets pushed back to. He gets pushed back 3 yards. We're going to talk about what he did. He has to do his work early. When you're not a great blocker in terms of driving, you have to do your work early. Block with your feet, not with your hands. So when I say block with your feet, he needs to come around and get in better position. So when he does this, he needs to attack the outside of this DN. Attack the outside. He tries to take him on square. You're not going to win squared up. He's way too strong. It's not your game. Know your strengths and weaknesses. Now he needs to attack outside, like almost run past him. Run past him a half a step and just put yourself in position. You run past him a half a step and put yourself in position, you can just get in the way. You cut him off, and instead of Mingo having to get flared all the way out, you cut him off, and Mingo's able to turn the corner and get upfield. The fact that Mingo has to get strung out, it gives these defenders like 26 and 96, whoever's coming, a chance to get him. The more you stretch an offense outside the side, it gives you a better pursuit angle to make that play. And the fact that JT Sanders got pushed backwards, like I said, it forced Mingo to go wide. Like I said, he needs to do his work early. Block with your feet. Get yourself into position first and then engage with the block, and you'll be able to cut him off. The fact you try to go square up with him, it's not going to work. You're giving that defender a two-way go. He's able to get square on your chest and drive back. If you at least cut him off early, Mingo's able to get upfield, and we're in business. He's able to get some positive yards instead of losing yards. Same thing here. It's going to be a similar instance, but this is a lot tougher angle, a lot tougher block. When I say you have to do your work early, it's blocking with your feet, running to get yourself into position first. And here we're going to have a pop pass to ISM. It's going to be a similar result to before. Sanders gets pushed back. It gets bowled out. Fortunately, we get a unnecessary roughness penalty and becomes a gain of 15. But watch the mistake. This is already a tough block. You have a guy 2 or 3 yards outside of you. Your job is to get around and get him cut off and get in the way. So you have to do your work early. Use your speed and athleticism to an advantage. I would like him to come flat. When you know you're blocking the D end, you got to bring a little bit more with you. You can't be paying patty cake. You got to bring a little bit more with you. He tries to bring some, but that D end pushes him back. Look, I think he gets engaged on the 29 and gets pushed back into the backfield. It bows ISM out. So like I said, same thing as the previous play. Do your work early. Come flat, and like I said, it's a tough angle, but if you put yourself into position, you literally just have to get in the way. Get in the way and stand strong at the point of attack. Don't get pushed backwards. And so it might not have been a huge gain, but you getting pushed back, flared out our runner. You see ISM, he sees it, hesitates a little bit, has to bow out because of the block, and then there's nowhere to go. If JT Sanders gets in position, at least maybe ISM can try to turn the corner to hit the sideline, maybe get 2 or 3 yards before sneaking out. But the fact that he couldn't, it forced him all the way back. So this is just the areas of growth that JT Sanders will need to work on. We knew this coming out of college, but if he ever wants to be tight end one, he's going to have to be able to make these type of blocks. Like I said, you don't have to be a superb George Kittle, but being able to be smart and put yourself into position, it makes it a lot easier on yourself. Do the work early, block with your feet, not necessarily with your hands. So as we keep it moving, I want to stay with the trenches. We're going to go with Andrew Raym, who is an undrafted free agent center out of the University of Oklahoma, the only pure center on the roster. He had a very, very rough game last week, but this game, I thought he really stepped up, and you can see the progress from week to week. I'm excited to get into his tape. Let's go ahead and check it out. Last but not least, Andrew Raym, the undrafted free agent center out of Oklahoma, the only pure, quote-unquote, center on the roster. He had a very, very rough game against the Patriots last week, but I thought he had a very, very good bounce-back performance. I love to see the growth from these young guys. It's one of my favorite parts of preseason. He's going to hear work with a guy head up on him at the nose guard position. And that's when you see the lateral movement and the hand placement to on this guy. This guy's going to try to throw a little spin move on him, you know what I'm saying? But he's going to stay in front of him, keep him walled off. Great job just mirroring the defender. Look at the lateral movement. He's going to set up square, gets hands on him. The guy tries to wipe the hands away, but he keeps punching, keeps getting those hands reset. That's one of his strengths coming out of college, was resetting those hands. And you can see him move right. The guy tries to move right. He tries to spin, not come back to the left, stays in front of him, keeps the hands working, keeps them active. I love that type of play from this guy in pass pro as a center. Here's the next play here. It's going to be a run, a pass play, but he's going to do the same thing. Look at that mirror in the cutoff. He's going to anchor a little bit on this time. He sets to the right. The guy tries to come back to the left. He's able to move as well. You don't have to do much. We're getting the ball out in 2.7 seconds. Set right, come back over to the left. Good job right there. Holding the point of attack, gets pushed back just a little bit, but we'll live with that. You're not getting bowled over. You're holding your own. Keep those hands. Look at that. Look at it. Like I said, the active hands, keeping them attached, keeping them extended, keeping that guy there and gets him in there, gets hands on him. He finishes the block. We'll live with that, and we'll keep it pushing. All right, next up is going to be a run play. I love this physicality off the ball. Boom. Look at this placement. Look where the guy is. The guy is right inside the hash. After the contact, you move him about a yard off to the hash. And now you're working to the next level. And I love that. The combo block to get that initial contact, but then keep working to the next level. That's what we want in the zone. We want a center that can move like that. And Unfortunately, the other defender comes and pretty much tackles him and prevents him from making that block on the linebacker, and that linebacker makes the play. But you love the activity. Boom, contact displaces him. Now get up to the second level. Let's make something happen. I love the activity, man. Look at that drive block to help on the combo block. Like I said, just clearing out space, creating a hole for the running back to get through. This is good work by Raym, man. This is good work by an undrafted free agent. All right, here's the next one here. I love this play. This was a huge run, a huge hole. The defense pretty much gave it to him. To get in the middle of the field is wide open. But I love the hips and the hip movement to get this block. He makes that initial contact, but look at him move his hips. You can't even see him. He turns. You can see the back of his jersey here, but he flips the hip so much and walls this guy off completely that I need to show you guys the other angle to be able to see where his jersey at, because he completely walls the guy off. That way he can't even turn around and catch the running back. He's completely walled off, pops to run a big run, a good chunk explosive play. Now we're going to see it from this angle. Like I said, you can't see his back of his jersey now, but he drives and turns and walls these guys off so much he even puts a hand around to ball them up into one big pile to make a nice bear hug, and completely makes a huge alley for the running back. Look at this hole. Look at this hole. Because thanks to the center, but just for good measure, flip them hips. You can see the back of his jersey now because he sealed them off, creates a huge lane for the running back to get to the second level almost untouched. I love this work by Raym, man. I love this type of work. Here's going to be, again, on the one more play here, it's going to be a run. I like the hip movement. Watch him flip his hips to get this block. This guy's on the outside of him. He flips his hips. Yeah, he gets pushed back a little bit, but you don't always have to drive guys off the ball. Being able to use and flip those hips, that's why they like those linemen to be able to be former wrestlers. You're used to being able to use your leverage and putting yourself into position and flipping hips. Look at him flipping the hips. Look, he's on this side of the guy. He's on the right, but what he does, he gets that reach block, cuts him off, gets those hips flipped, and he's able to get him walled off. Unfortunately, there's a free linebacker, number 53, lurking, so he claws up the hole, makes it a harder play for the running back. But I love to see Raym take on this block, reach, get those hips flips. Thanks to the help from his right guard, he's able to take on that block and flip those hips quick. Look how quick he's able to flip those hips. Whip like that, and he's in position, got him cut off. That's good work there, man, overall. I can't have any complaints about that type of play. Like I said, just improved completely from last week. I love what I saw from Raym in the run game. But there you have it. It's a handful of guys that I'm not sure how much they'll contribute, but to be able to find gems like this, you have to be able to appreciate that. Like, these are guys that we didn't expect, from an undrafted free agent to a guy we claimed on waivers to even one of our day 3 draft picks. These are guys that have continued to show some flashes that you hope carry on to the season. We may or may not need them down the stretch, but the fact that we know that these guys are developmental guys that are on the back end of our roster, I'm really excited about some of the prospects of these guys. You let me know down below in the comments which guys that you see on this tape that you're kind of really looking out for and that you're kind of excited about that could have some future potential with us. But I appreciate you guys watching. My name is Aaron Duncan. Again, hit that subscribe button if you have not. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.